to be a little thinner. This chain's a little dirty. Why is it sticking? I'm just trying to get that where the grinder's gonna touch and find. Yeah. Here's number 1. I got in here a little bit. You can see that. Where I had the wheel a little too thick, so I turned the wheel thickness down so I'm not getting into the strap. A little bit here isn't going to affect it as far as the strength. So I'll do a little bit. You know, as your wheel's big, this is like a brand new wheel, it's going to get a little bit in here, you know, if you don't make it super thin. But I don't really notice any difference from having just a little bit off of the teeth there. You're not getting to any of the strength here really at all as far as this tie strap. So I feel that that's fine. That's what I've always done. So I'll mark this side here with my marker. A cobalt marker. I'm going to dress this wheel up here a little bit, just touch it up, because all this here is just build up from the chain, and that just creates excess heat. So I just touch it up here a little bit. These are both multi-point stones. I had to buy those. They just cut a lot smoother. I'm gonna kind of adjust it in for this side. Most of the material I'm removing is from this edge over here, and then the second pass I'll actually get the top plate fully sharp. I'm holding the chain so it doesn't move since I'm running it in this 063 setting. This is an 050 chain, but with this Scar aftermarket plate here, I just doesn't run smooth in the 050, so I've just been running it in 063. It's going to have a tendency to pull the front of this tooth up, kind of like this. It'll want to do that right there. So that's why I'm pulling down in the front here. But at first, I'll pull the chain back into the this little stopper here, and then I pull the front down to hold the tooth against that plate there. The less that it moves, the sharper you'll get the top plate and the side plate. And the faster it'll cut. So we're back at the beginning. What I'm going to do is I loosen it up. I'll pull down right here and loosen it just a teeny bit. It don't take much. That might have been too much. So I'm going to bump it up. And I'm going to turn it down just a teeny bit. I'm going to get it perfect here. We'll come over and inspect. We're not getting it too hot. We're close. So I'm going to back off a little bit as far as how much I take. This chain wasn't dull, but it wasn't sharp, so I don't have to do much. And the rakers are pretty good. And that's it. So here's what it looks like. Side that we just did. So you got this whole corner needs to be completely sharp. You need to see a new fresh grind on both here and all the way across your top plate, even out to that very far edge. And that's how you know that it's sharp. Looks like that very far point on that tooth got a little bit warm, but that'll be okay. But you can see kind of here, this is pretty much perfect. I don't really care. I got into the link a little bit there. I'd rather have that than take this wheel thickness down too much. Then I think it's too weak. So when the chain is newer like this is a fairly new chain, newer. The rakers haven't been taken down that much. So this one, I think this will cut pretty good. We're about to find out. So we'll throw it on this 500 here. And blow. I already cleaned the bar out. We'll put a little grease in it. It's good to clean this area in here out too. This is something I never used to do, was clean that out. But pretty much what could happen is, what happened on this saw is there's that little worm gear in there with that little piece on it that drives the oiler, and that got broke off on this one. So I didn't know that, so I just put a new aftermarket oil pump on it and then clean that area out. So that's just something to take a look at when you have your clutch drum, if you're changing sprockets or whatever you're doing, just to check on it so that doesn't happen to you. 24-inch Sumara. This one's cut a lot of wood. Still on the stock tip. You want to kind of wiggle your tip here to feel if there's any play in it. That's how you'll know if you need to replace it. I've got some bars in there that the tips are fried on, but I won't throw them away because there's still use for them if I want to wire brush a chain or anything like that. Kind of just take it like this. This is the chain that was on it, so it should slide right on, and that's the tension, or should be closed. So these dogs here are from eBay, but you can see they're a little weak down here. This is probably the point where it touches the wood the most, is this lowest point. So this, in my opinion, should have been solid here, or they should have used a stronger material than this. I haven't had any problems out of the ones that are on my 440. They both got the same dogs on them, but that lowest dog here bent a little bit. On this one, I just haven't felt like bending it back. That doesn't really affect anything, but I run the chain catch on all of them. I think this is a lot safer than the little hook on, I guess, some of them that have that hook down here. This is a lot better. If you did throw the chain, to keep yourself from getting hit with the chain, and potentially, I guess, you can get hurt pretty bad from that. That's just a little cheap insurance. So you want to rotate the chain here a little bit. I use the scrunch. Now what's going on here? So we'll tighten it up and see if it rotates free. It's probably just hanging up because it isn't perfectly straight. Let's see it now. I don't like to do this with it because then you can cut your fingers pretty bad. So if you're going to do it with your fingers, just pull it forward. That's the direction it's going to turn. This might be a little bit tight, but it'll be okay. I just do just tight enough with my wrench here. I don't wrench on it really hard because it seems to tighten up as you're cutting. So now you can take your chain and pull it forward so that it runs free. And this one's done. All right, someone's shooting.